Hi Flosstube, my name's Teresa. I live in Australia. This is my first Flosstube video, so see how we go. I have a husband and 3 children. My eldest child Josh is 21, my second child Shelby, she's 19, and my third child Jed, he's 15, so he's still at school, but the other 2 work now, so that's great. As they're getting older, I'm certainly getting more time to stitch, which is great. I've been stitching for about 25 years. Always have only stitched on Ada, so watching Flosstubes really helped me to open a whole world up to what's out there and what you can use, and I've learnt so much in the last year watching Flosstube. Decided why not make a video, because I have questions and which I'm hoping you guys can help me with. Plus just to share, because I absolutely love seeing what you guys are working on, and I've found patterns that I've wanted to stitch from watching you guys, which is awesome. I do find it really difficult to find patterns that I like, so being able to see what you guys are working on's really helped me find patterns that I like. I have always been a one whip gal. For the past 25 years, whatever I've stitched from start to finish. And you Flosstube, you're naughty. You're just naughty. You just make me want to stitch 10 things at once and have patterns in a stash, and I usually just stitch what I'm working on, and I usually will look for something new to stitch on next, and that's what I'll have sitting there waiting, and I just usually finish the pattern I'm working on and then I start something new. So watching you guys has made me decide that I'm going to try and have a few whips going and see how that goes. It bothers me that it's going to take me a lot longer to finish something, but I'm really going to try and get past that, because I think I'm going to enjoy the working on something for a while and then working on something new and flicking from one to another. I think that'll be a good thing. I think that'll keep you keen and keep you going, and so we're going to give that a shot. I live in Australia in a place called Cessnock. It's in the state of New South Wales. It gets quite hot here in the summer, which we're about to start soon, which I love, so that's fine by me. It's an area that is big in the wine industry, so we have a little bit like Napa Valley in America. I live in the Hunter Valley, and we are huge for wine here, so lots of wine, lots of wine. It's great, love it. So it's a lovely place to live. It's a lovely place to bring up your kids. Lived here my whole life, so yeah. I work full time, Monday to Friday, about 8 till 4:45, so it doesn't leave much time for stitching during the week, so I tend to just come home. I try to go to the gym, try to make myself go to the gym a few times a week, and just the usual busy stuff that us mums have to do. So I do find that I don't stitch a lot during the week. I tend to stitch mostly on the weekends and just try to make as much free time as I can on the weekends, and I do tend to ignore the housework at times, which, yeah, is probably a bad thing, but it's just housework, right? So much rather stitch. So yeah, that's pretty much my story. I'm gonna just have a go. This is so weird seeing yourself on the screen, but anyway, let's give this a shot. Whip number 1. This is my whip that I've worked on for the past probably, I think, about a bit over a year. I think I don't really record how long things take me, but this pattern is so pretty, but it's absolutely huge. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. I mostly stitch full coverage pieces, but I've never done anything anywhere near this size. It's just massive, but blue and green are my favourite colours. You can probably see from behind me here. I love, love, love this pattern. It's absolutely massive. I'll try and find, no, I don't have that with me. It's really, really, really big. I'll show you in a second. But really, really, really pretty. It's called Almond Blossom. It's by, the only thing I can find with the design, it says Diana 70, but I know if you Google Almond Blossom, you will find this pattern on images. You will find it. It's there. Really, really pretty pattern. I really want to put this above my lounge, in my lounge room. It's just the colours that will go so lovely in there. It's just beautiful. And it's stitching up beautiful. The problem that I have, the reason I've actually stopped working on it, is because it's so big. I have a Millennium frame, which I was using for it, but I've stitched part of it, and it's got to the point now where it doesn't fit, and I was folding some of the Ada over so that I could actually fit it onto the frame. And I've got to the point now where I'm actually going to have to fold the stitched part and stretch that out on the frame. So I just wasn't comfortable with that. I just didn't want to stretch it like that. I'm worried I'm going to damage it or stretch it to the point where it won't go back. Now, this is massive, so I will try to show you what I have done. It's 2 rows of 2 pages, so it's, yeah, have a look at that. Actually, I have it upside down. Turn that around. It's beautiful, and it's stitching up beautiful. It's really not doing it justice on the camera here, but as you can see, it's massive. Now I'm going to try and show you how big it is, because it's huge. It's, can I get it all the way across? There. And up. It's just, yeah. Crazy, right? Nuts. I know. But it's just the colours, and I love it. I just love it, and I think it's going to look so awesome in my lounge room one day when I finish it. It's a beautiful piece. I think I mentioned before, I've only ever worked on an Ada, so it's quite stiff, this one, but it's just beautiful. I know it's crazy, but I really, really want to finish this. So what I ended up doing was I bit the bullet, and I've ordered a 36-inch long Millennium frame. It's the biggest I could see on their site, so I think it may just fit, so when that comes, I'll get back into that pattern and continue to work on it, but for the time being I've packed it away. You naughty Flosstube, you make me do things that I would never normally do, but I did start something new. So there's so much confetti on that pattern too. I kind of did feel like I was getting a bit sick of it, and it's very much the same. The whole pattern's just the same thing over and over again. There's no sort of do this part and then do this part and then you're working on a bird or a whatever, you know, it's just the same. The whole thing, it's just over and over and over the same thing. So I did start to get a bit sick of it. So I've packed that away for now. Yeah. But yeah, it bothers me that I've packed it away. I have a bit of an issue with it, but anyway, I've put it away, and in May this year I started to work on something for my youngest son, Jed. He plays rugby league here in Australia. That's the sort of league code here, I guess. He loves his rugby league. He drives his mother crazy because it's completely nuts and insane and rough, and I kind of watch it like this, and he's been playing that since he was little though, so he loves that, but he's also a huge fan of NFL and NBA in America. He watches as many games as he can possibly get on Foxtel here. He loves the team in the NFL called the Patriots. I'm sure that all of you States people will know what I'm talking about. And I found this pattern, which he liked, so I decided I'd stitch this for him. Now, the awesome thing about this pattern, it's by a company called Mulanella. It's Moulinella. I think they just create cross stitches out of pictures, basically. But I love the way they chart this. It's great. I'll just show you this one because there's nothing on it. This will give you an idea of, all one colour. All one colour. It's enough to drive you nuts. You'll see why in a second. But the pages aren't massive. They're not like a Hayed page. They're only 24 squares on a page. And yeah, you kind of feel like you're getting somewhere a bit more with it. But the other thing I love about this pattern is, can you see the number on the squares there? That's the number of your page that you're working on. So it really gives you a really good idea of where you're at on the pattern and how it, that section of the page should stitch up and what it will look like. So I found that really handy. Anyway, blue. Oh my God, blue. It's driving me nuts. There's so much blue and it's just mindless stitching. So yeah, that's a watch TV and do while you're watching a movie or something. It's mindless, but I did think about cheating and doing it on Blue Ada to get out of having to do all the navy blue. And I kind of felt like I was cheating in a way. I don't know. Anyway, I braved it and I've done it, and I'm really happy with the way it's stitching up. It's a very basic pattern, which after all that confetti, this was just, it was just a bit of fun, and it's easy, and it's, yeah. And he really likes it. He's talking about where he's going to put it up in his room and where it's going to go when it's finished. So this, because it's stitched up so quick because there was so much of one colour, I'm going to have this finished for Christmas for him. I'm going to frame it and it will be finished, and you'll see I'm very close. So this is it. Okay. See? Blue. So much blue. It's crazy. But it has like this sort of lighter blue bit in the background that gives it a little bit more depth as well. It's just a nice pattern, and yeah, I've enjoyed stitching it. Even the mindless bit at times can be nice because you don't have to think, you just stitch away. The section I'm doing at the bottom there at the moment is full of confetti, which has been quite unusual for this pattern, so that's slowed me down a little bit, but as you can see, don't have much to go. You've probably noticed, grid my patterns, and I can see the lines in it. I'm hoping once I wash it, they'll fade a bit more. But I love gridding. I do it with a pencil, and I literally just put the pencil on the Ada and drag it, and it stays in the line. It works really well. I find gridding just stops the mistakes. I very rarely have to frog, very rarely, and I mostly work on full coverage pieces, so I find that really helpful. It's, yeah, coming together and it's almost done. It's on 18 count Ada. It's great. I'm enjoying that. So I'm nearly finished. Now, naughty Flosstube, you guys have just made me want to stitch 1,000 things, have 10 whips going, have a stash. I've never had a stash. I've collected the full lot of DMC colours now, so I now have a full set. I've been working on getting that just a bit at a time. So I've got that organised now, and I've been ordering the odd fabric, and I've now got about 10 patterns in my stash, which is pretty exciting because I've never had a stash, and naughty Flosstube. Anyway, so when I finish that one for Jed for Christmas, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to try maybe 3 whips, maybe see how that goes. It bothers me it's going to take me so much longer to finish something, 3 times longer probably to finish something, but I really want to give this a shot. I think it'll break up that monotony a little, and when you get bored with something, you can switch to something else. And I saw somebody's done on here that they do like a 10-day. So if I have 3 whips, I'm thinking 10 days, 10 days, 10 days in the month. and hopefully I can get a fair bit done with it in that time. So when I finish that, I will have a new start, and I'm really, really excited about that. I'll show you that in a moment. I also thought that I would show you a FO, because let's face it, Flosstube, how many of us have lots and lots of FOs that are just sitting in the cupboard that we've stitched for hours and hours, and that's just what we do, isn't it? We just don't ever get around to framing them, and they just sit there, and it's very sad, but that's just how it goes. As long as we enjoy what we're doing, it doesn't matter, does it? But I stitched this for my daughter when she was young. It's been more than 10 years ago I started it. She was probably about 8. She's 19 now. But she was right into frangipanis. Loved frangipanis. So I found this pattern and thought, wow, that's beautiful. I'm going to stitch that for her. It took me 3 years. It's a full coverage piece. It's huge. This is the pattern. It's a little bit hard to really get a good idea of the colours on here, because this is quite, it just, you'll see what I mean in a minute. As you can see down there, it was a cross stitch charts and stuff pattern. It was called Pink Frangipani. Top there, you can probably see that. Really, really pretty pattern. Great to stitch, a lot of fun to stitch. I've stitched it, as I said again, on Ada. Boring, but you know, that's all I've used up until now. Loved it, really enjoyed it. Beautiful pattern. And yeah, it's just sitting in the cupboard. But this is it. Now you can see what I mean about the colours. Oh my God, it's just beautiful. Loved stitching it. I did it about 10 years ago. It did take me quite a while because the kids were quite young then, and you know what it's like when they're younger. You're busy running them to sport and school and all the rest of it, and working in between. But she's sort of not really into frangipanis anymore, so I don't really know what to do with it. So that's why it never really ended up getting framed. By the time I finished it, she wasn't really into it as much anymore. She'd kind of grown out of the whole frangipani thing, so I will frame this one day. I really will. It's so pretty. I'm thinking I might give it to my mum because she loves bright colours, so maybe she would like it in her house. I don't know. One day I'll frame it, but they're so expensive to frame, and I just, to do it myself, I just don't know how you guys do that. I'm useless. I can't sew for nuts, and I really am just not clever at that kind of stuff, so I don't trust myself to do that. Yeah, so one day maybe I will stitch that up. So I thought if I do some more videos, I'll see how this one goes. If I decide to do some more videos, I'll just show one of these every now and again, just to, you know, let you guys see what I stitch, what I like to stitch. I find it really difficult to find patterns that I like. I'm quite into vintage stuff and that kind of thing, but the Hades, for instance, as I said, I love full coverage pieces, but all that mystical, magical stuff, it's just not for me. I can appreciate the patterns on there. I think they're just stunningly beautiful, but it's not something I would put in my house. So I'm one of them people, if I'm going to stitch it, I'm stitching it for a reason, either to give it as a gift or to put it up in my home. So yeah, they're not really for me. So I do find it really difficult to find nice patterns, and that's one of the great things about Flosstube, is I get to see what all you guys are stitching, and I go, oh, wow, love that. So I thought I'd do a little shout out to some of the channels that I absolutely love. Ali's Stitching Studio, and she's an Aussie. I love to watch her and Pyrex Stitches. They're the two in Australia. And Carolyn Mazio, wow, she's just amazing. Pam Reed and Teresa Little Stitcher, hi. I love their videos as well. I mean, I watch thousands of others, but they're probably some of my favourites. So if you haven't checked any of those out, please do, because they're great. I love to watch them. And now, questions. I have questions. This is going to be my new start. Oh, I'm so excited about this. It's a head, but it's a small head. It's only 13 inches by 13 inches. It's very small. It's an absolutely gorgeous pattern. Now this is my, here we go again with you, Flosstube enabling me. I've never stitched on an even weave, and I watch you guys and the fabrics that you have, and they're just beautiful. And I really, really want to do it. I really, really want to stitch on something that's not Ada. So this pattern isn't full coverage. It's going to have some space around it that'll show in the frame that will be, you'll see the fabric. So I figure this is it. This is it, Teresa. You just have to do it. Just jump in and do it. So I have bought 25 count because that's what it's suggested on the pattern. It's suggested, yeah, 25 count even weave. So that's what I bought. Now I've bought it with sparkles in it because I'll show you why. I'll show you the pattern. This is the pattern, which I just adore. It's called Cinderella, and it's by, where are we? Alexandra Dorr, and charted by Michelle Sayeta. It's, as I said, well, it's 342 by 339 stitches, and I just love it. I love this pattern. I don't know how much of this I can really get in here to show you, but there's little lizards and mice and the shoe and glass slipper. I don't know whether you can see, there's a little, oh, hang on, wrong way, a little mouse there. There's a little lizard up here and another mouse there. Cinderella is my favourite, you know, fairy tale. Love it. And I know this has a kind of darkness to it, but we all know it ends happy. So I just think that, yeah, it's beautiful. So this is my new start. This will be my new start. So as you can see, I have a square piece of fabric, and I do want to put it in a square frame. So you are going to see a bit of the fabric around it. So I have bought this beautiful, oh, this fabric. It's so pretty. And it's so soft. No wonder you guys all love stitching on this. Ada's so stiff, and I just got it. Oh, I love this. And it has, there you go, you can see it's very sparkly because it's Cinderella, huh? Cinderella, you've got to have some sparkle, especially with it being black and white. So as you can see, it's not a very big piece, so hopefully it won't take me very long. But it's even weave. I'm so scared. I am so scared. I'm looking at this tiny little holes, and okay, so the pattern suggests that I stitch this 1/1. Never done that before either, so always have stitched with, you know, 2 threads on 14 count or 18 count Ada. That's pretty much been it for me. And I'm going to show you the pattern, just a little tiny bit of the chart, because I just want to get some advice here on how to start this. It says, please use 1 strand, depending on your coverage preference, maybe 2. Charts are recommended to be stitched from page 1 top left to last page bottom right, which is normally what I would do when I stitch. I grid the whole thing up. I start in the top left corner, which is usually page 1. Easy, you know, follow your nose. It's scaring me a little bit starting it that way, because I'll just show you a little bit of the graph. It has all that space in the corner where there's nothing. It's blank, you see? So here's the top left hand corner, and those holes, they're so tiny, and I'm thinking, how am I going to count all the way over to here and down and make sure that it's in the center? I really want it to be centered. I'm a little bit nuts about that kind of thing. So I would love to hear a suggestion of the best way to start that, because that's the way I really want to stitch it. I really want to stitch it that way. Look at this. I mean, not very many colours, huh? Score. But yeah, it's worrying me, and I'm honestly thinking that maybe the best way to go about it is to just start in the center and work my way out, because yeah, I'm not gridding this, I'm doing it totally by count, and I just think maybe that's the safest way. So you could just put down the bottom, Teresa, that's the safest way. Just do it that way. You know, don't worry about what the pattern says. But yeah, how pretty is that? So I'm going to start that when I finish Jed's Christmas present, and I'm really excited about it. And sparkly, oh, love a bit of bling, so really looking forward to starting that. I am going to try 1/1, but I've never stitched with one thread before, so I'll see what the coverage is like and decide whether I like it or I don't, and maybe I'll stitch it with 2 threads. But I use the loop method too, which got off Flosstube. So I don't know. We'll just give it a shot, huh? And we'll just see how that goes. So we're going to try that. Very excited. Now, I just want to say to you guys, lastly, before I sign out, that the videos you make, please keep making them. It's so great. My daughter's quite supportive of what I do. She kind of gets it a little, I think, but all the men in the house just think I'm crazy, and anybody you ever show your craft to, they just look at you like you're nuts, don't they? You know, you've probably all experienced it. They look at it and go, oh my God, I could never do that. You'd have to have so much patience, which I guess you do, but if it's something that you love to do, it doesn't feel like you need patience. I just love it. I'm addicted to it. Like I said, been doing it for 25 years, but to be able to just jump on Flosstube and watch you guys and see that you get it, you know, you get what we do, and you to see the passion and to see the, you know, the joy that it brings you. It's like this world that I love to dive into when I have the time and just sit and watch what you guys are all stitching and what you're doing. And so please keep making videos. I absolutely love to watch them. I will see how this video goes, and as I said, it's my first video. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was a bit nervous to start with, but I'm okay now. I will, yeah, we'll see how it goes. If it goes okay, I'll do some more. In the future, I'll show some more FOs that I have, and I do have some questions about a couple of FOs that I have that I might do in another video, and I'll show you my stash that you've all made me buy. It's all your fault. I have, like I said, about 10 patterns stashed up now, and want to stitch them all today, and yeah, but you all know what that's like. So yeah, as I said, my name's Teresa, and if you like it, please let me know, because I'm really nervous about this and how it's going to go. So hopefully you like it, and if so, I'll come back and do some more. So take care. Happy stitching, everybody. I hope that you all get lots and lots of time to stitch, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.